Hey guys, Bard here. We unfortunately didn't touch on the audience questions and poll because we got a bit distracted this episode. But don't worry, next episode we will touch on this episode's and next episode's audience polling questions in full. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to the Hunt, Banish, Extract podcast, now with 50% less sugar. I am your host, the Drunken Bard, aka DJ, and with me are two of my beautiful co-hosts today, Sir Kaiser, aka Richard.
I'm here with the Banished Flakes again because they have half the sugar as well.
And the patron saint of 3 stars, aka Rat329.
Does that mean I can't ask you to give me sugar?
No.
Yeah.
And we've got two very special guests, the ones that we told you that were going to come on to the podcast, the Waiting for Other Players podcast members. Firstly, there's John Catt.
LFG, HBE. Let's go, fellas.
Hell yeah. And then we also have Harrison.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing tonight?
And I didn't give him his usual glorious intro like John Catt gives him with the music and dance and everything, but you know what? He's here and he's here to give you a great time. And
Yeah,
That song was stuck in my head for like 3 days the first time you used it. It was great.
didn't you say that was like a thing that you found that one of your old friends made and you put it on Apple or like the eyesore?
We did backyard wrestling, like out of high school, like a bunch of knuckleheads. And I have one friend that does music. He puts out his own albums, does a bunch of stuff. And as we started putting stuff on YouTube, he decided to make everybody entrance music, which pretty much meant he made 3 people entrance music. And
That's
the
glorious.
only one that was super choice was Harrison's, because he made Harrison come in and rap. And if you hear the song, it's just Harrison dialed up to 11, talking about he has clothes that are knitted by the tiniest Asian hands.
so
Hold
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. That wasn't me coming in rapping. That was we were doing a promo and he couldn't think of anything for me. So I said, I am the MVP of VIP. So my clothes are knitted by the tiniest of Asian hands.
And it
stuck.
It goes for like 3 minutes. But my buddy was cleaning up his online stuff, and he said that he's like, "Yeah, did you know all that stuff's on iTunes?" So I went on iTunes and I paid $1.99 for it, and I came home and chopped it up in Audacity, and that's where we got his entrance music, our outro music.
That
And
is the best
stinger and him saying-
$1.99 you've ever spent.
Oh, I would do it again. I would have paid $2.99. It's the best investment I've made in a long time.
Glorious.
So what you're telling me is that I can go onto YouTube and watch you guys backyard wrestle?
Oh yeah, I'll send you
I
the
think
link.
the videos are still up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you've got full videos?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, we had full story arcs. I was Harrison was the VIP. Our third guy that we haven't really had him on the podcast just because while you're good at herding all of your friends into a conversation, 3 people's like one too many for me. So our third guy will be on eventually, but he was his own wrestler, and I came in and his manager with a luchador mask, and the only thing I could come up with was El Managerio. So, yeah, it's all just us wrestling in the grass right outside their apartment complex.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell are you
And we're
doing
not chill-
podcasting? You should still be in your pro wrestling career.
No, I'll send you the link. You'll see exactly why we're podcasting.
We're waiting for the letter now, WWE.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
What-
a whole nother story. We did that too. That's a whole nother story.
what a fantastic way for me to get to know these gentlemen, eh? All right. God damn. Well, guys, how the hell did you even discover Hunt?
Um,
Harrison.
Yeah, I think we were watching a YouTuber, and they played it, and it sounded like a good game for us to try out. So we gave it a shot and enjoyed it.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's pretty close to. I mean, I remember it was right when they launched the multiplayer for Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, we were
And
looking for another game.
the downfall of, because it was like Ghost of Tsushima and that Predator Hunting Grounds game were big in our rotation, but they're both 4-man squad games. And the problem is the fourth man we had on both games was two different dudes, one for each game, and they just kept flaking. So when we found Hunt, we were like, dude, this is 3 dudes. Like, what do you say we give this a shot? And it was just like, it was love at first sight.
We had the
That's
complete
kind of
opposite situation. We had always at least 4 people or something like that. And so we were trying to figure out, okay, let's split up squads, or what should we do?
I kind of disagree with you, because how it originally started was our friend Gavin had found the game. And keep in mind, I had no idea that Crytek even made it. I know that the fucking name comes up when you start the game, right? But it just didn't click in my head originally. And I was one of the only people that was willing to give the game a try. So he bought it for me. And then I ended up loving the hell out of the game. I ended up pretty much playing with him every day until he suddenly dropped off the face of the earth and just decided, I'm done with this game. And so I played it by myself with none of these guys for like a couple of months. And I was
The OG
lonely.
solo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I eventually got...
Pre-Necro.
Yeah.
Pre-Necro trait.
Pre-Necro. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Is that like a big contention point? Is that like something you guys absolutely hate? No?
Clutch isn't a fan of it. I'm fine with it. I have no
Necro?
problem with it.
Look,
guy
I'm not.
right in the
I'm
ass
not.
cheeks with a slug the other night. I had a good time. I have a great time with
Well,
solos. Clutch doesn't like it though.
I am not against solos having necro. I'm against solos having necro and be able to have 6 small bars and keep getting up and down. If you're gonna have necro, you need to have at least 1, maybe 2 big bars.
Okay, well you have to have 1 big bar. It's only 4 small bars.
Still, it's
even then, it's like
a lot. That's
4
the
shots at the apple.
it's still technically 5 lives if you include the one they start with, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's still 1 or 2 too many. If I want to watch a solo to make sure he's dead, I shouldn't have to spend 20 minutes there waiting for him to die and get up and die and get up. It gets old. It's
Burn all our
tiring.
flares out.
Reach.
And granted, I don't particularly give a flying fuck about solo bodies, because 9 times out of 10 I'm watching them get up into a bear trap anyway, and it's hilarious. But that doesn't mean that there isn't that one time that we're like, we'll leave the solo behind, and all of a sudden we hear gunshots ringing behind us, and they're like, oh, there goes that team fight, now we got to worry about this asshole. Re-rotate.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Every time we did not wait for the fire to burn out, they came back and shot us in the back.
Almost always.
It's like
About right.
It's like clockwork.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
like
say
it's like asking a spouse if they went to the store. It's like, did you watch him burn out? I thought you were watching him burn out. Then inevitably somebody takes a Mosin round to the back, and you're like, oh, what did we do?
Whenever I play with these guys, I always tell them, okay, you watch the body. And I will ask them multiple times, are you watching? Are you watching? I'm looking for a lantern. I kid you not. I had it once with my buddy Aaron, and he looked away for a second, and I heard the like the get up sound, and I was looking over, luckily, and I shot him back down, and I'm like, dude, you need to keep your eyes on him. I told you, because I was like backing away, but also aiming down sights. And thank God I was. Because everybody's like...
I was picking up our third. I think I was picking up our third the other night, and I just hear punches and grunts. And the guy had gotten up, and Clutch is over there having a 5-star WWE match with him, punching him out. It's like, all right, we're going to have to come over here and watch this guy.
I'll say the fastest way that they could keep Necro the same, but still make it less of an irritation to deal with, is just bring back the multiples on burns. So like if you throw 3 fire bombs at him, he burns 3 times as fast, cutting it down from 2 minutes and 5 seconds to burn out to like 30 seconds.
Yeah, let the damage stack a little bit.
Yeah, just stack the fire damage, and then that'll it'll speed up the burn process. You don't have to worry about how many times they get up because you're only there for 30 seconds max if you have 3 bombs on them.
Yeah, it would help. I wish there was a simple way to make everybody happy with it, and there's just not. Someone's going to be unhappy about it.
Yeah.
It's extremely complicated because it's not a bad mechanic. It's just, I guess the thing that irritates the people the most that do complain about it is it's unpredictable and it's instant. The moment they have access to that button, they can click it at any time. And if there's no traps or not enough traps, it's difficult to ensure that they go back down, you know?
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing I could say.
I guess another thing they could do to make it kind of more obvious if they have it, like maybe the fire burns a different color if they have it, so you know, oh shit, I gotta watch this guy.
Well, one suggestion that I saw is actually one of the best suggestions I've ever seen is like as they progressively burn more and more bars, they looked more and more charred as they were on the ground. And then when they're completely burned out, they're just like black, they look singed. And I think that's an excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they deteriorate like
another
like
one that I
bosses
think
as
would
they're being banished.
Aesthetically pleasing too.
I think another like you remember when it was first introduced, if you killed them and they used or they had a burn trait, it would like do that little sparkly thing off of their body.
Yeah.
Sparkly.
yeah.
Yeah,
It would,
have
like,
it-
it would
have it,
glow
like-
a little bit.
Yeah, they'd get like a couple sparkles thrown off of their body. Do that for every bar that gets burned off. So when they go down, that first bar is immediately gone, so they get the little sparkle, and you're like, oh shit, that's a solo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Rat, since you're good buddies of this podcast already, you're one of their legendary hunters, why don't you give them a question?
All right. So what made you guys decide to start your own podcast? Just out of curiosity.
I guess
Well,
the fact that no one else was really doing it, and John Cat came and was like, "Hey, no one's doing this, let's give it a shot."
Yeah, we attempted podcast. We had like a 3-man. Our third guy we play with all the time, Machete Phil. We talk about him all the time on our show. We had a 3-man table with him, and we would talk about movies. But it was like it seemed like I was just trying to get a bite off of everybody else's apple. Like it went nowhere. The conversations kind of got stagnant, and eventually would always stop. So when we started playing Hunt, I was like, I was really into the lore and like watching Twitch streamers on stuff, and Harrison was really into it, and I was like, there's really nobody talking about this. What would you say if we just started like? I mean, we got a couple internet purchased microphones. What do you say we just take a couple swings at this and see how it goes? And a couple swings just turned into like 2 years later, we're still banging away at this thing.
You are still probably the longest running Hunt Showdown podcast, even over us, which is funny.
Yeah, we've taken a little, we've fallen off a little bit, but
Fallen
we're
off.
Come
trying
and
to
go
get-
a little bit more.
we're trying to right the ship. Well, there's only for one, I've had nonsense with my father, as I've said on the podcast several times. He's a huge pain in my ass lately, but it's also the thing of you can only have so many episodes where you start the episode, we banter for 5.5 minutes about anime or Helldivers or something, and then I'm like, so how's this event going? And then that's the it's like there's only so many times you can do that. So realistically, like if we have stuff to get into, by all means, we'll bank 2-3 episodes. I'll see you tomorrow when we play. But other than that, if we have kind of fallen off a bit, just because it's just kind of been a smooth grind with these couple events, so we haven't felt the need to stop in every week.
I guess that's fair. It's just, man, I feel like compared to when I first started, especially, I feel like it's been a nonstop kind of like barrage of all of these different ideas that Crytek is suddenly like just fucking flinging at all of us
yeah.
all at once.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was listening to another interview with one of the main members, and they literally were saying, "Oh, you know, all those experimental traits, we're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks." And it makes so much more sense now, considering all of them feel like somebody literally brainstormed, and then they just, you know, instead of like drawing from a hat and everybody voting on it, they went, "Let's just dump the hat into the game, you know, let's just put it all in."
Yeah, it's 100% that. No, go ahead.
They're like, let's make it. You know, we've already had the solo res. Let's have one pact that can't burn and also can't bleed, and everybody's gonna take antidote shots.
Yeah.
Fucking send it.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants
to turn into the Gremlins 2 thing where they're like, if we had a spider gremlin, love it. Like they're just putting everything that they could. There's like one guy in the back just making up random shit. He's like, what if we put it all in the middle of the map? And they're
What
like,
if
I
we
love it. That
literally
sounds
just-
great. Why haven't we thought of that?
all of the ideas, please just throw them in. And you know, one thing especially that I've noticed that they seem to love to freaking do is every time I'm like, okay, these skins, they're pretty freaking wild. They're gonna tone it down, right? And then the next one's just even worse. Like what's funny is when I had that thought, the freaking Scarecrow was in the game, and I'm like, okay, so now you just have some asshole who got mutilated in a field, and now he's coming back to murder all of the people who bullied him.
There's
love
that,
it.
and then
Jason
the very
Voorhees.
next event they gave you Santa Claus at the very next event after that. So they're just batting 1,000.
I love it. Where else would you get a Mountie?
That's true.
I played
fucking
the
Canadians.
shit out of that Mountie.
What's funny is even the recent one, because he's like the one that I think is supposed to be the closest thing they have to a prospector or whatever. It's the dude that with the mask who came with the big dynamite bundle skin, and I don't know. He's very similar to the guy with the triple face mask that's supposed to be like the theatrical one, but it looks really out of place.
I know you're talking. He's got like the weird billowy. He's got like the pirate sleeves.
Yeah, he's got pirate sleeves, but he's also got like a leather overcoat. But
and the mask.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Son of Gunpowder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, he's supposed to be the guy that just blows shit up, and
he's the conspirator.
Yeah.
Every time I see him in game, I call him V for Vendetta.
That's why you called me that. Well, and I mean, I love the skin. I like playing the skins that are a little more unpopular personally because I just get tired of seeing Felice and Headsman and the Reptile. I get tired of it, man. I'm like, I think it was specifically Richard mentioned he wanted a clown skin, and man, that sounds fucking great.
Please give us a hunter named Bobo.
Bobo.
Well,
that's nightmare
on
food
that
right
one
there.
podcast.
Make it slit if you punch him in the face, his horn honk or his nose honks.
Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
his death cry. He doesn't get the death scream. It's just his oogle horn going off.
Oh yeah, and give him the big floppy shoes so every time you're running through water it makes even louder splashes. It'd be so good.
Well, when
He's
we
not
talked
allowed
about
like
this on the
go
other
ahead.
podcast, I was literally like looking at the old clowns that they used to have, and they were creepy looking, like in all
Oh,
white,
yeah.
and like they were these old west cowboys that were circus dwellers, and it could totally work.
I really
the old
could.
rodeo clowns.
Well, I guarantee, in those day and ages, they were absolutely running circuses and shit. So that it just makes even more sense, especially if you give it a bayou twist, like he's covered in seaweed. Because there was those other drowned hunters, right? He could kind of be added to them. Like maybe he was just some asshole on a steamboat, and they threw him off, and he drowned in the river, and then the sculptor revived him.
Well, shit. For example, if you look in the voice chat conversation chat thing. I just put a picture of a guy from 1938 who was a clown. Tell me that wouldn't be fucking terrifying to run into.
Hang on, I'll check this out. Richard, you specifically had a question you wanted to ask. Would you like to ask?
Yeah, sure. Let me actually pull it up here real quick.
Oh yeah, that's fucking disgusting. That's actually
Yeah,
he's
that's
even got like the
pretty cool.
accentuated ears too.
And, and then there's this one here, like it's a group of 4, and that's actually from 1897.
I need to find a way to put these pictures on the podcast somehow. I'll figure it out. I'll link them or something.
Just flash them up in the video on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but you got it?
Yeah, I got it. Well, I've got a couple, but I'll start with one. So I was more curious because I'm pretty sure you guys play on console. Is that correct to my understanding?
Yeah.
Okay,
Apparently, yes.
So these guys play on mouse and keyboard, and I'm the only one that plays on PC on controller. How would you describe the experience of playing Hunt on controller versus like another first-person shooter game?
As far as being on console, I think the controller does kind of lend itself okay to being on, especially now that you can kind of toggle between hunter and gunslinger. You can
Mhm.
kind of pick your own poison with the way the controller feels and everything. But realistically, Clutch would be the one because he's dipped his toe in PC as well, so he would have more insight into the pros and cons between mouse and keyboard and controller.
All right, Clutch, let's hear it.
So the it's a completely different meta on console versus on PC. Console, you have a lot more people just playing melee weapons, so you absolutely have to worry about turning a corner and there's a katana man.
Yeah, don't get too close.
Yes.
Well, it makes perfect sense because unless you play on God mode sensitivity, it's a problem.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's a different game. The little bit I played on PC did not go nearly as well as it does on console because I'm not used to the sensitivity of the mouse and keyboard and the fact that everyone just stays at range on PC. There is no time to charge. There's no, well, last man standing wins. It's a lot more held back than on PlayStation.
There's always a Mosin in a bush.
Yes. There's one motion in the bush, and he is surrounded by 6 guys with shotguns, all going last man standing wins.
Yeah.
And he's always the most disguised skin ever, right? Almost always.
Yeah.
He's always the
it-
guy in the ghillie suit.
Universal.
Yeah, it's a lot of Felices.
Yeah.
Or
Since
or
Kane
he's
got
that.
his. Oh, go ahead, go
Yes,
ahead.
yeah. No, I know exactly what you're gonna say. Go for it.
Just like how Kane used to be the most well disguised, but he's kind of getting his place taken, I think.
Well, yeah, that's because
Yeah.
they changed all the mud on his chest to come.
Oh God.
Well, they keep adding new characters that are taking that place.
Reaper. Oh, fuck.
Maybe not on night maps, man. I literally headshot a Reaper because
Yep.
that's all I could
His
fucking
face
see
is
was his
glowing.
dumbass face. Yeah, I saw like that stupid bright white mask, and I'm like, oh, hi.
No, we're talking about like the lizard man and stuff like that.
Oh,
A
yeah,
little
the
bit.
reptile.
And then
I
of course,
definitely-
he used to be the headsman.
I agree with Harrison though. Felice, she's one of those subtle ones, man. Under the right conditions, she's completely invisible. Otherwise, she's fine.
Bro, it's the
agree with
same
that.
with Scarecrow on DeSalle.
Yep. Yeah, in the cornfields.
If you play as Scarecrow on DeSalle and you're in the fucking cornfields, you're never gonna see that motherfucker.
Yeah. You are the
Yeah,
shadows if you're pushing somebody onto Sal and the Scarecrow.
Also true.
110%. Well, you know, one thing I wanted to ask you guys specifically, because one thing that is a huge contrast between our podcasts and one thing that you guys kind of hold over us is the console versus PC, because it's kind of fucking ridiculous how many people are PC elitists, especially on Hunt. That this is one of the games where I've seen it taken the most seriously, the most mocked, and I'm like, why are you steering people away from a game that you love so much? Don't you want a bigger audience so Crytek has to add more things and take this game more seriously, even if it's not on your platform?
Yeah.
You know, fucking dickholes on Reddit, shut the fuck up. But otherwise, like, especially, I've always been curious because I didn't play a whole lot of it on corner peeking. Is it just like a whole lot more hugging different walls as a because in PC there's a lot more movement because it's a lot more fluid, right?
Mhm.
So is it like you stick a lot more to like each individual wall than like the serpentine movement?
No, it's definitely a lot of serpentining and a lot of dodgeballing. That saved
Yeah.
me quite a few
Yeah.
times. What it ends up being is less hugging the corner and more taking wide angles around the building so that you're
Yeah.
not seen as much.
And
That doesn't
I
sound that
find I
different.
lean on my and I find I lean on my audio a lot more. Like I'm constantly telling Clutch is notorious in their clips on Instagram too, where you hear him like shut the fuck up, I can't hear the guy. Like I find I'm leaning a lot more on my audio to be like somebody's walking over there for sure, and I need you to shut up so I
Yeah,
can
like
hear what they're
that.
saying.
Well, because that makes perfect sense because I think on PC especially, I'm always like, oh, I hear this guy in this distance.
Mhm.
But as opposed to you guys being more cautious and making less movement, I make more movement because the audio is like a dead giveaway. And I think
Yeah.
PC players are more likely to try and wall bang. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can see that. Um, Console players are much. So I don't know about other players, but I run through every crow and every duck nest I can
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
the
go-
asshole I hate playing with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is in fact
Love you too,
me.
Bard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll
It-
take a long we'll take a long angle, and our third guy will just be like fist fighting an immolator, setting off 4 different things of crows, and we're like, all right, fuck the wide angle. They know exactly where we are. Just head straight for them.
No, I get
No,
it's
I am that guy. It's me.
God.
It's
No,
100% me.
That guy.
I have an episode where we've talked about the least desirable players to play with, and mine was the guy who makes too much noise because we have one in HB and he knows who he is. I love him to death, but I still want to shoot him in the back of the head every time.
Oh, no,
Okay, Z, I still love you.
That's 100% me. Um,
So you're trying to
I
get
just can't.
or PvP fights faster, right?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to the fights. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to crouch. I'll crouch when I know people are near. Otherwise, I am
Yeah.
full send. Minus the times that the shooting is on the clear other side of the map, and you're not getting there.
Yeah.
Not with
Yeah,
that
there's definitely
attitude.
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple of times when they pop the banish and they're right next to an extraction on the opposite side of the map, and we're like, why bother? Just turn around. We'll just leave. Like we're not gonna get there before they leave anyway. So what? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I think that's universal on console and PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
As
because
far as leaning on audio, I don't know who would do that.
I think the only major differences are definitely going to be in minor play styles, like the
Yeah.
very minute details, right? That's mostly what I'm curious about.
Well, it sounded like based on what Clutch was saying was that it was a lot of that melee base in those fights, whereas like PC, some people are just, head clickers. So you turn
Yeah.
around a corner, you're instantly dead. Versus like these guys are just swinging around hammers and crap. And
We
Well,
won't
you
say any
guys-
names about head
Really?
clickers, Element.
The most taken weapon is the shotgun and a melee weapon. Whether it's the bat, the
Yeah.
katana, one
That's
of
how
them
I
is in
started
fact
on
taken.
PC.
That
I
just
started
makes
with
even
a I think it was
No, go,
a rival. No, not a rival. What's that shotgun? I'm losing it. Caldwell, right?
the Crowning King? Or are you
No,
talking
no.
about the
Caldwell.
Caldwell rival?
No,
Yeah, the
the
Caldwell
the
rival.
rival
Okay, I
is
got it.
Clutch's bread and butter. He'll take the rival over a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the
Map
rival
culture,
and
I see.
a saber. That's what I chose. That's my go-to loadout when I was first
Yep.
starting.
Yeah, it's
The
solid.
first one that worked.
Yeah.
Well,
And also for the audience, I say the whole imagine leaning on audio thing as a joke because these guys all know that my audio setup is fucking ridiculous.
and yet you still scream when you're shot at.
Yeah, I do. Like
Because
a
it
bitch.
sounds so real.
Hold on. There have been plenty of times we've been
That's
shot
what I'm
at that we were not expecting somebody to be
Oh,
there, and
Christ.
it scares the shit
I think
out of
it was
us.
what was it like 2 weeks ago? Clutch 3 weeks ago. We were playing on a Saturday, and I was like 2 gummies in, and I got shot at, and I thought somebody shot like into my house. My wife was mad at me. I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Scared the life out of me.
Well, how? Oh, go ahead, Richard.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think all of us probably have something where our wife is concerned about us. 'Cause
Oh,
we
My
yeah.
all
wife
play
just
together.
calls my wife just calls me and then everybody on the voice chat starts laughing.
Well, you scream, so it's like hard to know if you're okay.
Yeah, well she just calls me and goes, "Hey, you're gonna wake up our kids. If you do that,
Right.
you're up with them all night."
Well,
It's fair
one of
enough.
the biggest things, and I swear to God, I've played this game for years, and I can't fucking wrap my head around this because it seems like most people agree with me, and then when I play the game, or even just some of the people I know personally, they're like, "Meh, it's fine." The sweat levels on this game, I swear, at least in the last 5 months, have been out of this world. Is it the same on console?
Oh yeah.
It's like
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
literally,
Clutch loves he loves the sweat lords. If we
oh
can get one
God.
over on a sweat lord, it's a good day.
It
But
is.
well, that I wish I could get it one over on the Sweat Lords because everybody I know personally is like, oh, the game's in a good spot, and I'm like, what are you talking about? If I don't land the first headshot, I'm instantly headshot. I don't understand. It's crazy.
And
We don't
that's
have
in
that much
3-star lobbies
headshots.
because I'm their anchor.
Well, I mean, it's the
Kind of.
same
Isn't
for us.
anchor a good
We're
thing?
we're
No, I'm just
usually
kidding.
barely clicking 3 stars, maybe 4 stars sometimes, and then we get taken down a peg. But
I
yeah, we're usually fighting from underneath. 98% of the time, we're the underdogs.
I wish I was still floating around there because, and I know a lot of people like to say that, but I swear if my balls even touch 5 stars, they fucking shoot my balls off because I don't deserve to be there. Apparently, even though I was dropped into a 6-star lobby several times playing solo, and I'm just like, bro, what are these matches? Because my KD is decent. I'm not gonna pretend like it's low, but it's also not high. And if I play solo, unless I'm in 3 stars, it's throwing me in all-star lobbies. It's like you like playing with streamers, you like playing with the people that fucking own you on stream and embarrass you. I got you, and that's what I get every time, every single game. It's ridiculous. I don't understand if is the player population dropping. That's what it feels like.
Get used to it. That's what they say.
Clearly,
I don't know. You haven't ran into what's his name? Stabby Hands McGee, the guy that Nino keeps running into. That's like the NPC for hire.
What?
Yeah,
You haven't seen those videos?
I don't think I have.
He'll
They're
just
funny.
be
That sounds
playing
awesome.
he'll be playing a solo map, and then he'll do the classic Nino thing of hitting the VoIP and being like, "Are you a solo? Because we can each take a bounty and leave." And then the guy usually just talks with like a robot affect, and he's like, "I'm here to assist you in any way that you need." And basically, he's just your NPC to get you to the extract. He'll do whatever he can to get you to the extract.
That's nifty.
And he's run into him like 3 or 4 times. Every time he runs into him, it's like a big deal on his stream.
It's funny. I've seen some of them myself.
Yeah.
That
It
does sound
reminds
pretty
me of
entertaining.
who was the guy that ran the same skin as the Rockta Z? It was like the guy with the half face masks, or no, like it's like the top part of his face mask skin. I can't think of his name, but
The
Rockta
Phantom,
Z,
yeah.
the Phantom. Yeah, it was a guy that always ran the Phantom skin like Rock does, and he was always appearing in random streams. I can't remember his name, but he was funny. He was a novelty during those times.
Well, that's something we can ask you guys playing on PC. Do you run into any of these elite, like have you ran into any of these streamers, these elite level guys
All
that
the
you're
time.
watching on YouTube? Shut
Yes.
up, no way.
Yes.
Really?
I have faced against at least some of the big names. I like Bushwhacker. I have been in several matches with. I have been against Urban Bravo,
I've run
Tame
into
Hot
Urban
Pair.
Bravo.
Yeah, you ran into him in Quick Play, you lucky
Yeah.
bastard.
That was so much fun.
Morgan. I've ran into oh goodness gracious, I'm forgetting some of their names. I think there's been, if I can remember some of the names. I think I've ran into games with Death before, at least once. But I also play on like the mid 5 levels sometimes, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
too surprising.
Level. Yeah.
Now with
Yeah.
you guys,
Pumpkin,
we use...
that was one. Sorry,
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I've seen that guy's streams. Are funny.
that's a chick.
Well, then I'm thinking of somebody else because there's another.
Sorry.
There's
Go ahead.
There's a guy pumpkin. Is there not a guy pumpkin?
There might be.
I don't want to
Finish your
assume
thought.
gender. I don't want to assume gender. We play over the PlayStation Party chat. Do you guys use VoIP? Do you play via Discord for your team link up? Like, how do you guys handle
Both.
like your in-game chat?
I'll sometimes VoIP even when I'm with them.
I have a push to mute button on Discord, and that same button is the push to talk on Hunt. So that when I push it, it'll mute my Discord, and I can talk in game.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and just do stupid shit with voices and hope that they're laughing too hard to be able to aim at me.
I once had it where I was drunker than shit. Shocker, due to my name, right? And it was just a random Twitch streamer, not like a name Twitch streamer, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But him and his buddies, and I rushed them with a Romero penny shot, and I was so proud of myself, but I was also drunk. And so I basically talked the most amount of shit I've ever talked in my life. I said, I bet your mother wished that she had an abortion. And I went to their stream and watched the recording afterward. They all reported me. I'm surprised I'm not banned. I was feeling it in the worst way possible, but they were also all sitting in corners. So I don't feel that bad. They were all playing like, you know, they were all playing like wussies. I still shouldn't have said that.
No, Harrison would have said worse.
I'll be right back.
There's plenty of clips we can't post on Instagram because it's Harrison saying just some very heinous shit.
He seems like a shit talker. He seems up my alley.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I talk mild amount of shit. I am not that bad.
Yeah.
Blowing that out of proportion.
I was gonna say, as long as you haven't done one that high.
Yeah, we've only messed with VoIP like once or twice, right?
Yes, we have not done it much, and the little that we did, we didn't really get much interaction. So we're like,
Not with the people, but between us, it was hilarious because it was all the, you know, it was only if you were right next to each other, you could have the conversation, and then volume wouldn't carry in between us. So we're just fighting at a compound. All you hear is just like, "Help me! Come over here! I'm out of ammo!" And it was the I think it lasted like 2 or 3 games, and we're like, just go back to the party chat. Just go back to the party chat, please.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was not fun.
But we haven't messed with it since I think they changed it in an update that I think we can use it.
Well, it's soon to be. I'm sure
is
you
it?
guys know this. Like you can chat with randoms, and you'll be able to join up 2v, gain an extra random
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
system. Yeah, I love that. I'm also a little worried because I'm certainly guilty of contributing a little bit of toxicity. I just admitted to it. But I even played with a really, really toxic TTV not that long ago, and he was the worst player I had ever seen in 5 stars. He literally died twice. Funny enough, he was a controller player like you guys,
Oh my.
and on PC bragging about it. And all he did was die twice and blame us. It was gorgeous.
Nice.
So
He
you're
does
telling me that this
represent
whole
us.
time I could have been blaming you guys for all of my deaths?
I mean, why
Not
didn't
a
you?
controller player.
God
not
damn it.
fully.
That's controller players.
Yeah, we have that right, but he's not
Yeah.
one
I'm
of us.
usually
that one guy.
apologizing for them dying half the time. I'm like, sorry guys, I let you down. Try harder next time. I'm sorry.
I've met so many cool randoms. That's the funny thing is I've seen so much shit talk like, oh man, my randoms are such trash. I think I've even heard you guys on your podcast be like, man, my randoms matches were always bad.
Depends on the
No,
day, I'd say.
yeah, we've always been either duos or we play with our third guy. We've never had to
Is that what
entertain
it
any kind
is?
of randoms. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's why we
Maybe I'm
picked Hunt.
insane.
Yeah, because we're usually like a 3-man squad, and we were like, this is perfect.
There you go.
To be you guys, man. To always have a second and third to play. Meanwhile, these guys leave me high and dry.
Yeah,
I'm
I
always
didn't have
there for
any
you.
friends until like last year, the year before, playing on Discord to finally have people to play with on Hunt.
Are you sure you have friends still? Maybe we just keep you here.
Oh, I see how it is. I'm just the content for you.
I mean, you are a rat, so that means you're a pet, right? Isn't that synonymous?
You got a point. You got a point. I mean, as long as you're
Sorry.
petting me and feeding me and telling me I'm pretty, I'm okay.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to like just pull out some hair, because you're a lab rat.
Jesus, Clutch, we come on the show once and it implodes.
Yeah. It was going to happen sooner or
Wow.
later.
Our plan's working perfectly.
See, we hit our peak. We're just passing the torch now. You guys better put out a baller episode.
I was gonna say you're passing the torch to the guys that were already doing the show.
Right?
Torch back. Yeah.
Hey, man. It's the way it works.
Yeah,
But-
it is what it is.
As long as you guys do a great job, we're not worried about it. But since
Don't
this
touch that
event,
torch too much, you might feel a burning sensation afterward.
Yeah.
What?
why do I let you talk?
I don't know.
But since this event's coming to a close, I mean, you guys always do like your highlights and lowlights. Has it been mostly highlights or lowlights lately?
Mixed bag.
It's a super mixed bag.
Yeah.
We'll
Damn,
go
I
through
wish mine-
nights. We're all high fives and smiles, and then we'll go through nights when it's the two, him and our third guy are just like, we're done. We're done. I'll talk to you Thursday. We're done. Don't call me on Wednesday at all. It's been a super mixed bag.
God
Makes
damn.
sense.
See, I wish I could say that because mine's been negatives. It's like mine's more like a crack addiction where I started the crack, and I had a really, really good hit. And I was a druggie like through and through. And then, the downs started coming real hard. And, but I couldn't stop running my face into the wall until everything was absolutely gone because I would get like 2-3 kills every match. And then the second team would blow me away. I would get 1 or 2 kills on the first team. The third would blow me away.
Well, if you'd stop letting other players blow you.
I can't help it apparently because every single time, and even if we're the team in the middle with the bounty that we just banished, all 3 teams don't even try to shoot at each other. It's all us, and then we'll take out 2 teams, and then the third one will kill us all. It's a nightmare.
Cannot tell you how many times we would banish the boss. Nobody's been around. We haven't heard any shots. And then we scan, and we're surrounded. Nobody's still shooting, but there's
Nobody's
9
shooting at
little red
each other.
dots around us.
That's
Yeah.
worst feeling is when you
Yeah.
scan and you see everybody and you hear nothing else.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you
I
scan
think
one more
we-
time.
I think
And
we're forgetting
all the
about
dots have
feeling
moved.
of being in
Yeah.
an entire lobby who knows exactly how far the dark side boost can see, so they stand just outside of that.
I hate
And
that.
everybody has snipers, so you don't see anybody, and then you run out to try and get to extract, and then just get absolutely fucked.
Oh
And you hear bullets whizzing by.
Then
And it's
your
always
gunny
Mosin
kicks in and you
Spitzer.
start screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've it always seems like they all met up one camp over and they were like, so we're just gonna go in there and fuck with them, right? Then we'll work it out amongst ourselves. But for right now, we just because we've had people on all sides shooting into the camp and we're all screaming at each other. Like, have they not shot at each other yet?
Well, what's
We're just
funny is
trading windows.
I had a match just the other day where we were all in Elaine's Sons and Fish with my randoms. And it was that same situation where one of us scanned, the whole damn place is surrounded. And I didn't hear shit until I peeked the window. Then all of a sudden, I kid you not, it was 4 shots in a row. I didn't die. I was hit by one of them, though. So I just hear fucking shots ringing out, wall banging over and over. And I'm trying to dodge bullets. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry I even bothered looking.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, the first time it happened to us, I scanned and said, well, fuck, we're surrounded. And both him and our third were like, no, we're fucking not. And then they scanned and was like, fuck.
Yeah. Or the best one is when one of us is dead watching the other one stream and they scan and you just see so much orange and the third guy is like, well, how many people are here? And one or the other of us is always just like, you don't just
Yes.
I'm sorry. I can't
You
help
don't want to
I'm
know.
sorry. Yeah.
There was
Shoot
nothing I
anything
could
that
do.
moves. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just like, I got bad news for you, brother.
Yeah.
Hide.
See you on the other side.
Yeah.
Let me
I'll
know
see
when
you in
you
the main
die
menu.
and I'll respawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, oh man, I swear.
Look, I don't want to witness you getting fucked by the entire lobby, so I'm gonna go make a sandwich. Message me when you're done.
I've done that
Yeah.
before. I have legitimately done that where it seems like such a stalemate. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna get another drink. I'll be back. And I came back, and at least one of them was dead. And I'm like, why did I bother leaving this lobby? Now we're doomed.
No, we don't deal well with the drag outs. We have in fact waited the time out because we
You're
had
insane.
and there
Well,
was
no,
a
that's
sniper out in the
yeah.
field and he would not push us, so we're like, no one's getting the bounty then because we're just waiting
Yeah.
the time out.
Yeah, I think we've literally waited so long that everybody failed to like either Clutch made it out or like us and the person we were fighting failed to extract. But like he's just ripping Spitzer shots in, not pushing, and we're all talking on our end like he does not know who he's messing with right now. We will be salty as hell, and we will ride this whole 45-minute clock out before I come out in that damn field.
Yep.
Dedicated ass.
Oh yeah. Oh
It makes me think of like all the people who will purposely like they'll kill somebody in Tarkov, take their backpack, and then fucking go throw it in a bush somewhere that they're not going to be able to find it.
Yeah. We are those guys.
Yeah, Clutch will also, if you die and you have something that could potentially bite us in the ass and we can't burn you, he'll just bleed your ammo dry and trade your guns back.
As one
He'll
should.
He'll sit there, he'll
At
shoot
least
a Crown and
do
King
that
into the
to
water,
solos.
give it right back to him.
Look, I don't hear anything wrong with that.
No,
Oh,
it's
there's nothing wrong with
hilarious.
that. That's
I love it.
great.
I will try. I'll try to bait shots, man, but on PC, I swear to God, like I'm not the highest 5-star ever. Hell, I'm usually just high 4 stars. But my God, if I even wiggle my cheeks out the window and like, hey boys, yeah, they shoot them. They fucking immediately tap me, and I'm wasting healing.
See,
It's
this is what you
ridiculous.
get for role playing whenever you play as Lulu.
Yeah.
That's
Or
why
you're
you gotta
playing,
get that run and start.
Yeah, or your Granny Creams trying to shake it out the window.
Oh yeah, that
But then they miss because they're shooting at the flaps.
yeah.
How do we
They're
get it?
It's kind of like Batman's cape. Like they shoot where they think I am, and it just happens to not be me there. It's just the flaps of skin just swinging.
I gotta get that running start.
Ass
She
like
uses
the
the bingo
American
wings
flag.
to parachute off of the top of the compound.
We also have a tendency to say, "Hey, let's not do this anymore," as we proceed to do the thing we said not to do.
Yeah, we're big fans of. We're not pushing this game, and then one guy will piss us off, and all like in unison, we're like, "Push him now!"
Oh, it's on.
And then we meet each other back in the lobby. It's just the way it is.
It's okay. I'm generally the one that irritates Bard when we get playing because I like to yell stealth as loud as I can when I throw a grenade.
Nice.
Well, that was one night, A and B. You played like Harrison here and decided that noise was the best answer. And you know what happened to me every single match? Do you want to remember what happened to me? I got
think
shot
you
in the
died
fucking
first every
head.
time. Yeah, it was great. Every time.
Every
you died
fucking
first.
time.
If you learn to bob and weave and anticipate the shots, then you're fine.
Anticipate what shot? The
these
guy
are
that's
people that-
fucking
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
your
yeah.
whole goddamn team cross because some asshole set off the crows? Yeah, rat.
God, that
Yeah.
must be PC problem. We don't have that. We don't have that in PlayStation.
no.
Yeah,
We're
I
quiet as
took
hell.
I took the thought that nobody could say that I wasn't stealthy if they weren't alive, and
You forget
Uh,
we're playing with PC players where they follow you with the mouse and they're like, oh, I know exactly where to guide the shot, and then I'm fucking dead, and then I get to watch you guys play.
Oh,
Because
man,
for some reason. Well, what's funny is I'm not even usually the one running out in the open. I'm usually running into like the hidden spots, and then those assholes are looking at that spot and they're like, oh, he just accidentally set off the sound trap. Now we're gonna kill him over here. And then Element and Rat are like, oh, Bard died over there. Guess
well,
we better.
Bard's dead. Guess we're in combat.
Yeah, I guess we're playing for 3 minutes just to lose. Fucking dickholes.
He's gonna go make a sandwich anyway. We got time. We can keep playing.
Nah, man, I saltily watch the screen hoping they win, and then we don't.
No, there was a couple times that we won.
That
Namely, it was
okay,
because
like
Element
twice
was
out
a
of
better
5.
shot than I am.
I think no, it was twice out of 6. It was something like that. But still, they were all your fault.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every single one. It was my fault.
Okay, but an actual question, because what loadouts do you guys play against? And you're like, I absolutely hate that you killed me with that. Like what's I know that every weapon sucks in some regard, but what's the one that you're like, God damn it, this again?
I'm trying to think, 'cause
I think marksman's bother me so much just because I never know where it's coming from. Like if I can see you and you're blasting me with iron sights, even from a distance, I'm like, that's a sick ass shot. Good on you. But if I get dusted with a guy with a like a Sparks with that stupid telescope thing that takes up the whole barrel or something, like one of those guys, it bugs me just because I'm like, even if I knew where you were, there would be no contest. Like those are the things that bother me the most. Like if we're just getting into it back and forth, I'm all about like good game. I can't believe that's a sick ass shot. But when I get cracked from a compound away, I do get a little bit salty.
Harrison?
Clutch.
uh,
I was gonna say, you're looking at a spreadsheet. What do you got going on?
no, I'm just thinking because there's nothing where I'm ever like fuck this other than solos.
Yeah, but
Solos.
what are they bringing?
Normally they're bringing snipers.
He always runs into the one solo that's running the Crown and Cringe.
Yeah. My biggest thing that I'm like, that was bullshit, is when you get like half a compound away, dual pistols, headshot, you die, one shot. Those I feel are kind of bullshit, but when I do it, I laugh like a 2-year-old on Christmas.
Yeah.
So it upsets me, but I enjoy it when I do it, so I can't, it's hard to hate on them for it.
I'm still pissed that I didn't record that match that we played when I went in with double Dooley Bornheims.
I mean, it's the loadout of a gentleman right there. Harrison used to do it and called it the Great Bank Robbery loadout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glorious.
Bard, or I can't remember if it was Bard or Drake.
It was
but I want
me.
to say it was Bard, and he gets killed by somebody corner camping like a wagon out in the middle of a field, and then I
Crouching in
run
the
out.
Yeah, he was crouching in the grass.
Yeah, and then I run out, shoot twice, miss the first shot, second shot's a headshot. Then I loop around the wall after I pick Bard up, and the second member of the trio we're up against is facing like where they heard him stand up, and I loop around the wall and shoot them in the side twice. It was glorious.
It was
It's
pretty
those-
great.
Yeah, it's those occasional tears you go on with like dual pistols, whether it's like Borheims or Officers or Spitfires, where you're like, I don't know what deity just touched my digits, but I am raining hot lead on this whole team of 3 right now.
I love that.
It feels
Best.
good.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, it's Centennial Bleed and the goddamn Dulce FMJ. Every time I see either one of those, I'm just like, you're such a dick, dude. And I know why you're running them. I know exactly what your plan is. And I've seen a guy with both. And I mean, I didn't say it out loud. Nobody heard it. But I said it. I said, you're a fucking dickhead, just to myself. Oh, man. I absolutely hate seeing either one of those. But combined, get the fuck out.
Okay, so what if
Yeah.
I take a Centennial FMJ and a Dolch Bleed?
Yeah.
I'm less mad about Centennial FMJ because the biggest problem with Centennial Bleed is it's like a big chunk of damage and then a bleed proc. And if they're
Yeah.
shooting at you with Centennial, 9 times out of 10, you're out in the open. Usually.
And it's medium ammo, and the medium ammo dum-dum is intense bleed immediately, so you're already
Exactly.
you're immediately going to the top of the bleed.
Yeah. It's
And then-
like you're getting hit with something from the assassin when that thing hits you. You're like, what the fuck just hit me?
Exactly. It's like the assassin freaking threw one of his blades at you in the middle of nowhere, and you're just like, God damn, really? Because they don't need a headshot to cause you pain. They're already making you dance out in the middle of a field.
Yeah, True Gentleman uses a Springfield with dum-dum.
Yes.
We've
Yeah,
done-
but I'm not
we've done
mad
that to
about
him.
that.
Yeah.
Because that's a single shot rifle and he has to reload before he can shoot me again. Whereas Centennial, I'm hearing bullets whiz around me as I'm trying to dance and bandage myself.
Yeah, as
Okay,
I said,
so-
that's the gentleman's asshole loadout.
Okay, so big question for you guys. Who uses like the Springfield and the Sparks and forgets to reload?
That would be
Yeah, that's me.
funny enough. It's definitely the guy who plays like you. It's Z.
I don't usually forget. It's normally John Cadden, our third, who will take that and then forget and then go, this is why I don't take it.
I've gotten better. The sparks for some reason always I don't know what about the sparks just messes me up. Springfield I'm usually okay with. Martini Henry is still, I mean, it's slow as dog shit, but it's still like the gold standard of one-shot guns for me, personally.
Yeah.
But,
I love the
um,
martini.
Ha-
Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody do something with a weapon that you hate that completely flipped your view on that weapon? Because I know that I sure as shit have just recently.
I've seen Harrison do magic with the crossbow, and I'm garbage with the crossbow. So it's always it's a lot of jealousy coming from my end of the mic whenever we're playing and he takes the crossbow because I'm just like, I wish I could be that accurate. I wish I could sling
It's not every
arrows.
game. It's not every game that I can do that though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one
but-
for me, I hope that Drake has it recorded in his clips channel. But and I want to say it was me, him, and Bard playing, but it might have been me, him, and Element. But we were at, I want to say Elaine Fish. I'm not completely sure. But there's a guy inside where the bounty is, and he sees Drake. Drake dodges a shot, runs to the door that's closed and barricaded, and he has the railroad hammer because he's out of ammo. Fucking hits the door, breaks the door down, loops around, and hits this guy in the back with the railroad hammer. It was one of the most glorious things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it completely changed my mind on the railroad hammer. Like, I hated it until seeing him smash that door in one hit and then take that guy out. It was amazing.
Yeah,
We've had a
Railroad-
few melee fights where either me or John Cat will jump off from the second floor and try to land on somebody and stab them.
Yeah, it's
Doing the
a
Assassin's
real
Creed shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear any announcer from any generation of WWE, WWF, just like, oh my god, off the top.
It comes with varying levels of success, but
He broke him in half.
we are extremely happy regardless of how that ends.
Yeah, usually
Because
on
we're
the
doing
controller,
it full well.
Oh yeah. Once we figured out on the controller, if you double tap triangle, it automatically goes to your melee tool. So once we figured
That
that
was
out,
a game changer.
it's always the issue now. Like, we run dry in a gun and we're like, fuck it, double tap triangle. This guy's going down one way or another.
You'd be shocked at the amount of people on PC that when that melee weapon comes out, like it does not matter the rank. There are some motherfuckers that they never ever are prepared for it, and you'll just
They
watch the
panic
fear in their
so
eyes as you
hard.
stab them in the head.
It's amazing running a bomb lance for that reason and that reason alone.
You just put the bomb lance away and pull out the knuckles.
Well, because there will be the ones that'll just stare at you because they think they can get a headshot because they think they can get that quick mouse flick, and it never works. You always get them first. I love it.
Yeah, Harrison's the he is the clutch of we'll be two men down and he'll just go straight knuckle knife and then bring us both back. It's happened so many damn times.
I don't go straight knuckle knife. It's not always. I've done it several times. I definitely 3-on-1 took 2 of them out with a knuckle knife and know for a fact that the third was scared shitless.
Oh yeah. He was cleaning his pants.
Well, you know what's funny is there was one time, and I remember it was in Healing Waters Church, and it was in that big ass church, and for some reason, everybody on the team was in that little tower. You know what I'm talking about, where all those ladders lead up to the peak.
Yeah.
And they were all camping in there, and I have no idea why, because 2 of them had shotguns, and one I shot in the head, and he was at the peak of it. And I came up to him, and I was looting his body, and I heard one crawling up the stairs, not the stairs, the ladder, and I immediately shot him right in the head with my Springfield. And then I heard the last one kind of scuffling around, and then I heard him crouch. Or I didn't hear him crouch. I just figured he had to have crouched. He stopped moving. Yeah. And then I just dropped down immediately. Only knuckles, not even the knuckle knife. And he missed his freaking shotgun shot, and I just punched him right in the head. That is more satisfying than any knuckle knife ever. I just love that freaking like you just freaking surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, just drill him right in the face.
I was so surprised he missed. It was Romero too. I was dead if he hit.
I mean, we got that video on our Instagram of that guy chasing me with the katana. And the minute he put the katana away to shoot me with the Vetterli, I was like, and this is my chance. And I just turn around with the hardest sock in the face. And I hit him with this fucking Hadouken. It's the most satisfying thing that you can have happen to you.
It is.
Have to rewatch that clip. It sounds glorious.
I'm going to have to actually stop by on Instagram and watch all your guys' clips. That sounds marvelous.
It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves to see a good melee kill because it's not like Call of Duty where you're just going to die if somebody brings in a knife.
Yeah, we're a big fan of the melee kill, and Derringer kills have kind of had an uptick for us.
Oh.
Dingy-doo kills are the best.
The old hooker gun. Well, at least for me. I don't know. Harrison, you don't play the Derringer much.
I don't. I keep thinking about it, but I'm like, I need other stuff.
Yeah.
You ought to get into that penny shot Derringer. That is no joke.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the pocket money shot's amazing.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
even
take-
if you don't, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I usually take the penny shot or the old hooker gun. It's usually one or the other.
It's just it's so useful. I've never not regretted, or like I've never regretted taking it, rather, because it's always been in use for me in one way or another. Even if you have to shoot a dog cage, even though people will know where the bullet came from, the Derringer is always the most quiet and the easy, or like the least easy to detect. I've
Now
always
hold on. I think you're forgetting about Silenced Bornheim for hardest to hear.
Well, we're not talking about silenced guns that you can't hear past 30 meters, rat. Jesus. But we got to ask you guys a real question, because this is actually something I'm not even sure you guys have talked about or I've even heard. We've personally talked about it on our first episode. What are your favorite gun and hunter skins?
Clutch.
I don't know the gun skins off the top of my head, but the black coat was the first legendary hunter I bought.
Can you remember, like, can you describe the favorite gun? I bet everybody would know the description.
So I really like the Vetterli and or not the Vetterli, the Carabiner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better.
the Christmas. Yeah, the Christmas skin.
The
Is
one
it
with
the
like wrap
Deadeye?
around it.
No, the
Oh.
regular one. I don't like
Oh,
Dead
the
Eyes.
regular.
Yeah, not too many Dead Eyes on console because of the auto sway.
Right.
So that dissuades that a little bit. But no, I like the Vetterli Christmas skin is my go-to for that gun.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'll definitely look at it. What about you, John? Cat?
I think lately I've been playing a lot of Umpire's Bane, and usually the gun skin that I usually like to play is the Gold Rush, the mini Winnie, the Gold Rush.
Oh, I love
But,
that skin.
Oh, that's a great
yeah,
one.
Either that or Carter's Quick Shot. I love a small
I love that.
Spectre. Put a little penny shot in there.
And
See,
Harrison,
that's where we
you-
disagree. I hate the Spectre so much.
You're-
It's a
you're talking
solid
about-
loadout.
you're talking about the Winter Rose, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. I like that.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that a lot, actually.
I love it when you die and you have that gun and you come back up, the blanket's just like covered in shit.
Yeah.
Like they went out of their way to make sure that the thing that's the mess on that gun when you get up is it's like the gun is clean. It's just the Christmas wrapping looks like shit now.
Well, that's the worst part, especially about having like these new golden skins in this brand new battle pass. Man, when you get up from the ground with those things, they look freaking foul. It just ruins everything about them. But if you get like the Swamp Song Vetterli, it's like a Vetterli marksman. That shit looks cool as hell with a little dirt on it. It's funny. It depends on which legendary skin you have. That's kind of like how it'll realistically affect it.
Yeah,
The
or any
other
of the
one that I
gator
love seeing when they go
skins
down is
look
the
good.
Oh yeah.
shit. What was it? There's a Romero Alamo skin that Swamp Dredge. That
Yeah.
one looks awesome when they
Yeah.
hit the ground.
Yeah, those ones that just kind of look naturally like they're supposed to be dirty. And even the partner skin that was recently added for the baseball bat, it was for
A
you
wizard
know exactly what I'm
and
talking
staff.
about.
Yeah, I've been
the
playing it.
freaking dirty
Great,
stick.
Yeah, that's all he brings now. When he brings the bat, it is a wizard staff.
Hermit stick.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Hermit Stick. I want to get that just because everybody was making memes about it looking like a blunt.
I mean, it does. It does. Yeah.
A little bit. I could see the resemblance at the very least.
Dude, I think like the day it came out, Drake bought it, and then Element posted a screenshot where he just like made a little like glowing cherry at the end of it, and I was like, oh shit, who brought a blunt into the bayou?
Yeah. That would be when I start hitting our soundboard, and it would just be like, smoke weed every day.
Oh yeah. And your name for your podcast, what inspired that? Like just waiting for other players. Just is it one of those things where you're just always alt tabbing out and finding something else to listen to? And that's kind of what your podcast was? Am I crazy?
No, we were it's literally just from the screen when you're waiting to load in, and we started playing right at the beginning of lockdown because Harrison had a job that he wasn't essential, so he was collecting, COVID money, and I worked for the post office, so I was at work all day. But the problem was the player base was still small enough that we would have to wait a few minutes to load into a game. So we were constantly looking at that fucking screen that just said waiting for other players.
Yeah, it still comes up every now and then, but
Yeah.
it's the screen on console where when you load in but players aren't there, it just is waiting for other players.
It is
Realistically,
pretty brilliant.
it is kind of a battle call because it's like we try and keep it as positive as we can. We don't like to dump on the game too much. We don't want to suck it off fully, but I listen to enough podcasts that occasionally they'll get very negative about whatever, tabletop games, pro wrestling, whatever. And it just takes me out of it. So I'm like, no, as far as like a conversation, a decent conversation, I'll have it with Clutch. And if somebody wants to follow up on Instagram, like Rat, Mitchell Gertz, any of our legendary hunters, we're waiting for other players. I'm always waiting for somebody to chime in.
Love it. Well, and that because our name sounds kind of similar to exactly what you're saying, where it sounds like super inspired. But what's funny, and the real ones will know, to those who've listened to us from the beginning, is our original name was going to be Bayou Bozos. Is the one I came up with. Yeah, real original dumbass, right? And but Richard, Emperor Controller here, or Sir Kaiser, he came up with the idea. He's just like, why don't we really take the names of something like off the game? And then it was just sort of, I thought of Hunt because he's on something Banish Extract, like Kill Banish Extract. I'm like, what about Hunt? That's exactly how we got started. And so it's a lot less cool than yours, where it's just you're sitting in the lobby and you're like, Eureka! But it still was kind of neat how he came up with the idea. Because
your name not all, like there's no denying what your podcast is about. No, ours is a total shot in the dark. If you don't know we're about Hunt Showdown, you're gonna show up being like, what are these guys talking about? And after we
I
babble
disagree.
about Hayden Christensen for 25 minutes and we start arguing over the Nitro Express, they're gonna be like, I don't know what any of this shit means.
I
don't know where
disagree.
I thought this game was about Uno.
Well, because your guys' podcast, back when I was creating mine and I just kind of wanted to get a feel for whoever was making another podcast, was I clicked on your guys' first because I'm like, that makes the most sense. And I saw like the dark site hands and I'm like, that's cool. And then I listened to it and it was 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was the other thing. We got a free background because that's just a screenshot from the game that I ran through a filter. And 24 minutes. I was like, dude, keep this shit tight. Like, it's two dudes. There's nothing worse than just two dudes, and then it's like 2.5 hours later, and you're like, they're still talking.
I get that, but man, you'd be shocked at the amount of people that just love just listening to banter for 2 hours, man. And I'm one of them. And when I was like 24 minutes, what the hell is this? And I listened to it and I'm like, this is kind of fucking weird. Why aren't they talking about Hunt yet? They're talking about fucking random shit. And all of a sudden I'm hearing like the fucking theme for football or whatever in one of your sound bites. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this podcast? This isn't Hunt. But I kind of fell in love with it. I think it's amazing.
And the NFL sound clip's the only thing that's really stuck around. Like everything else has been changed out and moved around. I'm like, no, that the NFL stays for the main topic of the show. Like it's the standard now.
It's game time, baby, when that shit plays.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was awesome. I love it too. I think your whole audience probably fell in love with it. I think it's a staple now.
Hope
Yep.
so.
Yep,
But
for sure.
Rat, a certain question, because I got to step away just for a minute, and I want to come back when you guys are still bullshitting about it, because you had an idea about cooking up something with them. I want you to ask them the question while I step away very briefly here.
Oh yeah, so what kind of like a theme with a lot of the episodes that I've been on here have been just thinking up some kind of ridiculous dumbass hunter. So far we've had the Chad Kroger Kane, Chef Bayurdi. What kind of weird ass hunter would you guys love to see aside from the clown?
We talked about this too.
Did we?
Yeah, it was probably off stream where we were talking about what would be cool if it came out. Fuck, what was it?
Well, you can start off with what they have and go backwards to what they don't have. Because, like, I think we were talking about a cool prospector. I think I brought it up with Brad on our show, but I think we've also brought up like prospector would be neat. Sorry, I'm sitting here talking into my mic while it's sitting on my desk.
I was gonna say, it sounded a little bit quiet there.
Yeah, I was switching out my stool with my wife's office chair, and I set my mic down. We've talked about having a cool prospector, but like, and we could say bartender, but we have a bartender.
Yeah.
State. I would like a Teddy Roosevelt kind of like vibe, like not
Oh,
quite
that'd be
Carter.
awesome.
Like
There's
Carter's
like a 10%
cool for, like,
chance to take no damage from getting shot.
yeah, it's but you have to stand in one spot and talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think like a big game hunter would be like Teddy Roosevelt in like South America, like would be kind of cool. Carter's neat, but I would like that like the Mountie kind of hat with like the full on woodland greens and stuff.
And I'd love to see that or like the African big game hunter where it's like that weird helmet like hat, like the guy from
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we talked about
Figure
that.
these
Maybe.
monsters would.
God,
No, go for it.
No, I'm
You're
trying
cooking.
to think.
You're
What
cooking.
was it?
Go for it.
It wasn't a nurse. It wasn't a ninja. It was something from another game we were playing around the time we started with Hunt. And we were like, that would be fucking cool in this.
I don't know, because we did get a pretty sweet Ghost of Tsushima skin, so I don't know.
That might have been what it was, that we were like, a ninja would be perfect here.
And then, well, that guy's literally like that whole get-up's from Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I want to say the Ronin.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that mask, the outfit, the whole thing, soup to nuts, was all like you could get that whole thing in Ghost of Tsushima.
One of the ones that I kind of wanted to see was like something Mayan inspired.
Mayan in the bayou?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a little late in time for that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
or-
But I'd like, maybe it's like the last Mayan or something like that. I just think it'd be kind of cool.
Or I'd like something a little south of the border. Give me like a big serape, like a big fucking
The Bandito.
yeah.
Yeah, Bandito.
we
I want
that's-
that.
we have
That's been my idea.
Yeah.
yeah, we have the we have the one guy, we have the Beast Hunter that's kind of got like a little bit of a sombrero. But
Beast Hunter. I thought
I'm-
the Beast Hunter was bald.
He was bald.
no, I'm talking about the guy that came out with he's one of the newer hunters. He came out with Harrison, you know what I'm talking about. He's one of the newer hunters. He's got like a half-ass sombrero on. But I'm talking like a bandit or like a three amigos kind of vibe going on.
See, and that would be even more perfect if they added something that was like a Three Amigos thing, because there's how many hunters you can have on a squad? 3, baby. And even better, oh, go ahead.
No, I was full and I was letting you cook. I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Not only that, because one of the best ideas that they've ever had that I haven't seen re-implemented, but please, Crytek, you need another set of dual pistol skins, because I don't know why the last thing to be implemented with, what was the last dual pistol skin? It wasn't even the triple pack that they originally came out with. But I love that idea. And a bandito, what do you always think of when you think of like shootout cowboy movies? Dual pistols, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds
That would be
amazing.
pretty awesome. That does.
And the
sound great.
potential's there. They can have like the Day of the Dead like lit on
Yeah.
each pistol, and it would look so cool. Two
Have
different
the whole thing
colors.
painted as a sugar skull.
It would look amazing.
Yeah, or like a mariachi.
I want this
If
now.
you could have a
Yeah.
mariachi guy.
Yeah,
Crytek,
and you could,
listen to us, please.
if you bother, if you do, thank you.
I'll run it up. I'll run it up the pole. I'll see what I can get cooking.
Come on, Dennis. We know
Oh,
you
yeah.
listen.
No, he doesn't. None of them do. Not yet. Not
Someday.
try. Maybe never. That's okay. We love all you listeners anyway. You guys are all fantastic.
Yes.
Is there any final thoughts that you guys would like to ask us, or maybe like just thoughts of your own that you just kind of would like to say?
Clutch, still awake? Do you have anything?
I'm still. I'm here. I'm kind of here. I'm kind of out. Kind of.
I know.
I gotta.
I'm asking if you got anything you want to add.
So, since there's 1, 2, 4 of you, do you guys do more duos? Do you do trios? Do you guys alternate nights?
Always, like it could be me solo. It could be me with just one other person. I'm always trioing personally.
Okay.
I just
I've played
find
a
more
lot of
luck.
Solos.
I swear duos play like absolute knobs. I'm always turning on the trios lobbies, because even if it's more hardcore and more sweaty, I have more fun because I find duos hide more. Duos bore me.
Playing
Personally.
against duos, yes, I think they hide, but me and him play as a duo fairly
Great.
frequently, and we find that that's where the action is.
You're
Yeah,
crazy.
2v3.
No, the 2v3s, man. We clean more. We win more 2v3s. It seems than 3v3s.
That's fair.
Yeah, we can't blame it on any one thing. I think it's just a formula thing of like me and him stack up like Marines when it's just the two of us. But if it's the three of us, we just kind of get lost in the sauce and we split up.
Yeah, so when it's the 3 of us, we are either too close, too far, or repeating the same thing when it's not needed. Like, hey, there's a guy up here. I'm nowhere near there. I don't care. I got 2 guys over here. Well, I'm telling you there's a guy up there. I don't fucking care about the guy on the roof. I got 2 guys circling on me. The third guy on the roof is irrelevant right now. We got a lot of that.
Well, I don't disagree, because even with my duo, I wasn't knocking you guys being duos. I mean, like duo lobbies.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we
yeah.
agree. We are a
Yeah.
duo who plays on trio lobbies because
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
excellent.
duo lobbies
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We
They
also
are.
we also found when we did duos on duo lobbies, it was the 2 of us against a bunch of solos, and it was just you couldn't keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
That usually happens, yeah, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Can't remember who's dead, who's been burned out. It's just a mess.
Right, you're just trying to find more lanterns.
Yeah, and the other pain
Trying
in
to
the ass
stack 'em up.
we keep running into, which we ran into the other night, was a team of 3 solos working together, killing us. And they
Yeah.
were a
Oh,
team
that would
of
be
3
frustrating as
solos
hell.
because they were stacked up like a trio, except when they killed us, we were all killed by a different solo. And we were like, it's bullshit.
God
Yeah,
damn,
I don't know
man.
how you'd even come across something like that. Like,
It's
How would you
bizarre.
even find 2 other solos and not immediately get killed finding them?
I have no idea, but it has happened far more than I
Multiple
like it to
times, yeah.
happen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Rat, do you have any final questions you would like to ask your boys?
No, I think we've gone over. Oh wait, yeah. What is your favorite piece of lore? You were saying that you got into the lore when you first started out.
Well, the lore when we first got into the game wasn't. I mean, we're talking early 2020, so it was basically just the stuff in the monster manual and the 2 textbooks you unlock as you progress through the bloodline. But I mean, I liked kind of how vague it was, but yet it kind of polished everything out. Like we didn't exactly know who the sculptor was back in the early editions. It was just the rifts are opening, causing you know these maladies, and then you have who was it? Wasn't it the doctor that became the spiders also responsible for the meat for the butcher? Wasn't it something like that?
No. So the spider was actually a little girl that got buried in a mass grave, and then the mass grave got corrupted by the sculptor.
It's a girl.
Yeah, it's a
I thought it was a
girl.
dude.
Yeah, no, it's a little girl. And she got buried in a mass grave, and then all of those bodies got corrupted by the sculptor and like mashed together.
Now I feel
Um,
bad about killing that thing.
and then the butcher was a dude tried to taxidermy a meathead, and that's
Yeah.
like he had something that he would coat his taxidermies with, and it would make them like impossible to burn, which is why he's always on fire.
Yeah.
And then assassin was some dude that hung out with the fuck, what's he called? The dude that kind of looks like an old man Robin Williams. Everybody calls him Doc Brown.
Oh, the archaeologist.
Yeah, the archaeologist. Thank you.
Or no,
Or no,
is that
archaeologist
the
is the lady.
lady? Isn't that just like the professor or something?
Yeah, so,
He's
something
got
like that. I can't remember his
yeah.
name at the moment. But
He's a studious individual.
yeah, he met this dude, became really good friends, and then later on figured out that he was actually a monster from the bayou. And then Scrapbeak was like an old veteran that was abusive to his kids, and then
Yeah.
he loved his birds more than his family, and then his son killed all of his pet birds.
He
then
lost his
killed him.
legs.
Yeah,
Lost his legs at like Fort Isn't it like Fort McCormick or something? He lost his legs.
something
and
like
it was-
that. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
soldier in the Civil War, I think, and lost his
Yeah.
limbs, and yeah, he was just the lore
Yeah.
is awesome. I freaking love it.
It's just vague enough because like you know things. You know full well where the redneck came from. Like the legendary hunters all have that blurb about them, but it's just something about like there's no definite answers to like where the sculptor came from, who opened the like. There's just it's wild. They can add to it at any time, and it's a fun
like
it's
it
a fun
was-
world to live in.
It's like it was written out almost like some really unreliable person's diary. Like it could be true, but it also might not be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
It was-
10%.
It's definitely the Mr. Chansey lawyer I like.
Mr.
But
Charity
it's
stuff.
definitely it's definitely vague enough, and they know enough to leave a lot up for question. Where a lot of other games you're getting answers on everything, and it kind of kills it.
And then
There was
there's
actually
Dark Souls.
a thing I was listening to where one of the ex-creators was talking to Hazmat, and he specifically was saying they were inspired by Silent Hill's very subtle storytelling. So that makes complete sense. They were really
Yeah.
trying to be like Dark Souls, even where
Yeah.
you had to like pay close attention even to like item details. And
Yeah.
like Silent Hill, where you really had to pay attention to like what the hell was going on, like with the character himself and like the inner turmoil and like the creatures, what they represented, that kind of thing. So they did a great job there.
Yeah, they definitely nailed that.
I think one of the things I love about it the most is like if you look at the original announcement for Hunt, it was called like Hunt the Golden Order or something like that. It's straight up just Remnant. So because of Hunt, we got 2 great games. Because the original crew that was originally working on Hunt went on to go and make Remnant.
Oh, nice.
Well, then you also have the lore about like the American Hunters Association, which, I mean, it's one of those things where like, didn't it dissolve? It like broke apart.
Yeah, after Dr. Huff got killed.
Like at any point, any one of these events could just be a resurgence of the American Hunters Association coming back to bite us in the ass or something. Like
I
there's
really
there's
kinda
so
hope
many
that's where
little
they're going.
nuggets. Yeah, there's so many little nuggets that they can just dip back into at any time.
Oh yeah. And I have a feeling that's exactly how the story is going to be from here on, even with some of the fucking teasers they do. It's like an envelope of information. It's like, well, there's this and this and this interpretation I can take from it. Which one am I going to have to assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
it's like the end of one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It's always leading you into the next. They always lead you into the next piece of the franchise, and it's the same thing with every event. They always end the event, and it just leads you into the next portion.
I just hope that my sleepless, like, exhaustion fueled and caffeine fueled ramblings have something of truth in them.
I
We
think
have
you
that
did an
whole
excellent job.
episode.
I think you did an excellent job. I am gonna start cutting the fat here because we do got to wrap up. But I'm probably gonna end up dragging you two gentlemen back on this podcast at some point because I had a great time. I think you guys are excellent guests. I will say, and I'll pay
Thank
you guys a huge compliment. I think you have the best outro ever. I'm fucking jealous of you. The whole 3-star. You're having a 3-star
yeah.
life, but goddamn it, have a 6-star week. I love that.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. That's that in the NFL. It's the only 2 things that are never going to leave the show.
Please
Shit,
don't
I
ever let
always
them
laughed
go.
when it went to the "May that Solo's body keep you warm."
Yeah, yeah. I tried to
Hate
get
the
some Curdy
solos.
love going. Harrison wasn't having it.
Well, in the very beginning, it's funny that you're probably listening to this at the end because I'm absolutely putting a small voice thing in the beginning. I did forget the audience questions in the poll. I'm so sorry. I got so distracted by these guys. These guys were talking our fucking heads off. Not that that's a bad thing.
Sorry.
We're going to make a double on the next episode. I mean, you'll hear about it in the beginning, so you're already wondering why I'm talking about it here. But this is pre editing, so we'll get back to that. But if you guys haven't already, I'm sure you have. All you Hunt podcast listeners are listening to every Hunt podcast. Continue to. I agree so much with John Cat. We need so much more Hunt content. We really, truly do. Thank you all so
Rising
much.
tide raises everybody's ships.
110%. And that's exactly why I have had both of you podcasts that are actually still going on here, because I think that we don't work individually. We work together, brothers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Democratically.
Hell yeah. And
That's the
thank
only
you
way.
all. It is the only way. So
What, did I hear
much.
democracy.
Longest outro ever for
I know.
listening to this podcast. Please go listen to Winning for Other Players. I already know you did, but do it again. Listen one more time for them. They deserve it.
Put it on repeat.
And as always, stay hunting. Give us an outro, John Cat.
I'll let you have mine. You guys may be living a 3-star life, but god damn it, I hope you have a 6-star week. Thank you for listening to
heard it
Hunt,
here,
Banish,
folks.
Extract. Guys, come back around.